sumisili, ibang klaseng init.
Kapag tayo'y magkalapit, kumikinto ang langit.
Unti-unting dumudungaw, ibang klaseng araw.
Liwanag na sumasayang, pag-ibig na umaapaw. Kung saan ako dinadala ng ngiti mo.
Summer is love, all days are bright and happy. Summer is love, oh sa piling ng family. Puso'y naglalagab, love, love, love. Sama-sama is love, love, love. Puso'y naglalagab, love, love, love. Family, family is love.
Dahan-dahang tumatabi, mga ulap at ang dilim.
Unti-unting hinahawi ng sumisipol na hangin.
Kung saan ako dinadala ng ngiti mo.
Summer is love, all days are bright and happy. Summer is love, oh sa piling ng family.
There's this man photo on the wall of my father's office at home. You know, where father brings his work, where he doesn't look strange, still wearing his green uniform and colored breastplates. Where, to prove that he works hard, I also brought a photo of his boss, whom he calls Apo. So Apo could, you know, hang around the wall behind him and look over his shoulders to make sure he's snappy and all. Father snapped me at once, caught me sneaking around his office at home, looking at the stuff on his wall. Handguns, plaques, a sword, medals and rifles told me that was no place for a boy, only men. When he didn't really have to tell me because, you know, that photo of Apo on the wall was already looking at me around. His eyes following me like he was that scary Jesus in the hallway, saying, I know what you are doing.
Why are you staring me like that? Who are you? Are you my father's friends or my father's master? Hey kid, what are you doing here?
This is not place for a child.
Father, this eye, the eye of the portrait, they are following me.
This picture is for a man, not for a boy. This is our leader. He gives us discipline, strength, and order. Everything you see in this house is our food, our room. My uniform came because of him. Never question him, anak.
Anak, are you okay? Are you hungry? Why are you so feeling nervous?
Nay, the man on the wall. I feel like he knows everything I do even when I'm silent.
What are you saying? Why are you entering the Apo office?
Because the eye of the wall is following me.
Anak, he is your apple. Your father serves him. But behind his smiles, there's a silent fear of him.
Her father always said the same thing. Apu is serving the country. But those words never gave her comfort. Night after night, the question returned. She would walk slowly toward the portrait on the wall, looking into the still eyes in the frame. Sometimes she wanted to ask it directly. What is it about you? What did you do? That everyone speaks about you in silence.
When martial law came in 1972, everything became quiet. It was declared by Ferdinand Marcos Sr. The announcement sounded calm, but many people felt fear. Television stations were shut down. Newspapers stopped printing. There was curfew at night. soldiers stood on the streets. If you spoke against the government, you could be arrested.
Open the door! The door!
No! No, get out of here! No! Please let me go! Please, let me go! No! Let me
Bata na, mabilis lang ha. Kailangan mo na kasi magpalit ng damit. So ready night na.
Marcos made men like you. He gave us honor and medals. We owe him everything.
Yes, we owe him. But sometimes, I wonder if we serve the country or just shadow on the wall.
I wasn't supposed to be here. Father said this office was not for children. He said the portrait of Apple must always be respected. But the question in my mind will not leave me. So I came back quietly when no one was looking. The room was silent. Only the portrait was there, staring down at me.
Why do you watch us? What do you want from me?
Son, I give you my life to that man. I thought loyalty was love for this country. But now, I realize realized I trapped in his place. Who never saw the bars. I thought I was protecting you. Who never saw the bars. I thought I was protecting you. But maybe I was protecting my fear. But Apo, every night I see the face of those who vanish. I realize I was serving the country, or I was serving only with your eyes.
During martial law, many people were arrested without warning. In the middle of the night, soldiers would raid boom. Doors were forced open. Families were awakened by shouting in fear. Some people were taken away for questioning. Some were hurt. Some women reported abuse during those raids. Many were arrested and brought to military camps. Some returned to their families, but others were never seen again. During those years, the media was controlled, and many stories were not. Because of fear, many people stayed silent.
Mga takang Pilipino!
Bagong sa akin! Walit mo ako!
For many years, I believed everything they told us. I believed that Apo was the savior of this nation, that he brought order, that he protected the people. That picture on our wall, I look at it with pride. But now, I hear the stories. People disappearing in the night. Families crying for those who never came home. If everything was truly right, why are so many people afraid? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I believed too easily. A picture on a wall cannot tell the truth, and a leader is still only a man.
Anak, I thought loyalty was a duty, but it was my fear. I silenced myself, even when others screams. Forgive me, anak, for letting fear rule us. Forgive me for letting Apo's eyes replace my own. Tay, I went from your office last time. I see the photo of the wall. It's gone, empty, but free.
Apo! Freedom is a future we must guard. Do not forget the past, but do not fear. Use it as sunlight.
My son, promise me, you will never stay silent like I did. I promise, Tay. I will remember, and I always speak. I love you, Tay.
The photo is gone, but its shadow remained. For some, Apo was a savior. For others, a tyrant. But history does not stay in frame. It lives in us, in the truths we choose to speak. Apo on the wall is not just a picture. He is a memory, a warning, and shadows. And shadows remain until we choose to face the light. The wall no longer stares at us. It listens. It waits. It asks us what kind of history will we choose to hang tomorrow.
After many years of fear, a new day finally came. In 1986, the voices of the people rose together, strong and united. The long night of martial law ended. Laughter returned to the streets, hope filled the air, and Philippine flag waved proudly once again. At last, the Philippines was free.
Anong balita sa radyo at TV? Ganun pa rin, kumakabasa din. Minsan naisip ko nang umalis na lang dito. Limutan ng lahat, lumayo. Bato-bato sa langit, namang huwag magalit. Alam naman natin kung sino ang tuso. Sa bawat sumpang umiiyak, sinilgo ay piso. Sa bawat lumulo ang dukha, alay ko yung dugo. May kasama ka kapatid, kaibigan. Hanggat ako'y humihinga, may pag-asa pa.
Ilang taon ka nung ideklara ang martial law ni Ferdinand Marcos Sr.?
I think I am 30 plus during that time.
Ano ang unang naramdaman mo nang marinig mo ang balita?
Siyempre, nagulat, nervyos.
Paano nagbago ang araw-araw mong buhay noon?
Siyempre, kapag sa umaga, magigising ka, magdarasal ka, dahil ang iniisip mo, baka mangyari ay magunaw na ang mundo.
Totoo bang may curfew?
Yeah.
Ano ang experience mo dito?
Ang bayan ng Calawag ay laging may curfew ng 10 o'clock. Nagkakataon na kapag na at dumaan na yung wangwang, takbuhan ng mga bata, nagtataguan na kami nun. So pag kami nakatago na, hindi na kami nahuhuli nun dahil ang nangyayari, dire-diretso lang yung wangwang na truck sa mga kalye lamang kung saan maraming mga nakatakbay.
May kakilala ka bang inaresto o nawala?
Wala.
Natakot ka bang magsalita tungkol sa gobyerno? Bakit?
Siyempre, kapag ikaw ay nasa gobyerno pa din, hindi ka magsasalita ng mga against the government din. Kasi nga, unang-una, nakakatakot. Baka mamaya meron na lang dumampot sa iyo na hindi mo kakilala. Pag ikaw ay against the government.
Paano naapektuhan ang pamilya ninyo?
Totally, hindi naman apektado. Kaya lang, nawa-worries, nag-iisip lamang kung ano kaya ang mangyayari. That is a big questions.
May nawalan ba ng trabaho sa inyo?
Wala kami nawalan ng trabaho dahil nung time na yon, mga kapatid ko sa Tarlac, okay naman ang trabaho, diretso sila. Tapos kami naman dito sa Calawag, okay lang din naman ang trabaho.
Ano ang naging usapan ninyo sa bahay tungkol sa gobyerno?
During that time, ang usapan sa bahay, lalo na pag si Kuya Ray, ay tungkol kay Ninoy Aquino. Number one, si Kuya Ray ay against talaga sa Pangulong Marcos.
Pinagbabawalan ba kayong magtanong o magsalita?
Yung panahon na yon, wala kang karapatang magsalita. Kung di ko ay tagakinig lamang. No reaction.
Ano ang nangyari sa TV at radyo noon?
Nung mangyari ang martial law, o yung tinatawag nating people power, ang bawat TV, bawat isang channel, kapag pina-open ni Marcos lahat ng channel sa TV, lahat mukha ni Marcos ang makikita mo. Ganun din sa radyo. Kapag ang balita ay about kay President Marcos, lahat yun, mapapunta lahat kay President Marcos.
Naniniwala ba kayo sa mga balita noon?
Siyempre, kasi nakikita mo sa TV, napapanood mo. Kaya talaga maniniwala ka sa mga balita.
May paraan ba kayo para malaman ang totoong nangyayari?
Wala kaming paraan. Ang tendency lamang is makinig at manood kung ano yung nakikita.
Bilang kabataan noon, ano ang pinakamalaking pagbabago?
So, sa panahon noon, kumpara sa panahon ngayon, napakalaki ng pagbabago. Unang-una, ang mga kabataan noon ay takot magsalita. Sumusunod sa mga utos sa mga magulang. Samantalang ang kabataan ngayon, wala silang pakialam, wala silang kiber kung anong gusto nilang sabihin. Ito man ay tama o man.
May rally ba sa lugar ninyo?
Hindi pa kami nakaranas mag-rally, kumbaga napanood lang sa TV.
May kaklase ka bang sumali sa protesta?
Yes, nung kami college noon, sa Tarlac State University. Kaya pala yung isang kaeskwela namin, hinahanap namin, nandun na pala, nadaputan ng pulis. Gawa ng siya ay nakisama lamang. Ang katwiran niya ay babayaran daw siya, kaya siya ay nakisali.
Mahirap ba ang buhay noon?
Mas okay ang buhay noon, unlike kumpara sa panahon natin sa ngayon.
Mataas ba ang bilihin?
Mas mura ang bilihin noon. Marami ka nabibili sa kaunting halaga. Kumpara sa panahon ngayon, kahit anong laki ng pera mo, konti lang mabibili mo sa sobrang mahal ng mga bilihin.
May naramdaman ka bang improvement o wala?
Ang daming improvement. Siyempre, kung sino mga nakaupo, nakaluklok, may mga pagbabago. Kaya susunod ka kung ano yung mga improvement na binibigay nila.
Ano ang pinaka-nakakatakot mong alaala noong martial law?
Nung time ng martial law, ang nakakatakot, bawal ka magsalita. Dahil kapag ikinagsalita at marinig yun, makarating kay Marcos, ikaw ay ipapadukot or ipapakuha ka.
Ano ang pinakamasayang alaala mo sa panahon na iyon?
Pinakamasaya? Kapag in-order ni President Marcos na bawal ang ganito, lahat ng tao sumusunod. Wala silang kalayaan na sumuway. Basta't kung ano ang utos, siya ang gagawin nila.
Kung pwede kang bumalik sa panahon na iyon, ano ang babaguhin mo?
Mas gusto ko ay yung sitwasyon ng panahon sa pang-araw-araw ng pamumuhay. Kasi noon, walang patayan. Wala kang marinig na away. At ang makikita mo, ang lahat ng tao noon ay nagsusunuran, nagmamahalan. Unlike sa panahon ngayon na konting bagay lamang, patayan na agad ang solusyon.
Ano ang natutunan mo sa martial law?
Bilang isang mamamayan, napakaganda ng tinatawag natin martial law na bagamat sasabihin na ito ay isang higpit na alalahanin, subalit napakaganda sapagkat ang mga tao nun ay sumusunod kung ano ang nararapat at kung anong dapat sabihin dun lamang. Unlike sa panahon ngayon, may sarili ng mundo, lalo tigit ang mga mapera. Lahat ng gusto nila nagagawa nila.
Sa tingin mo, dapat ba itong mangyari ulit? Bakit?
Kung sa akin, mas gusto ko magkaroon ulit ng ganyang sitwasyon. Kasi nga, takot ang mga tao. Kung anong order ng president, susunod lamang. Mas maganda yung susundin natin yan sa panahon ngayon para ang mga tao ay magkaroon ng takot, lalo tigit magkaroon ng pananampalataya. Noon, pag sinabi order na magsisimba lahat, ngayon hindi na nagagawa.
Ano ang mensahe mo sa kabataan ngayon?
Bilang mga kabataan, ang pinakang sinasabi ni Gato Rizal, nasa kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. So, noong mga panahon na yon, anyan talaga, ipinakikita doon sa mga salita na yon na ang mga kabataan ay nagsisikap para lamang ipakita at nang malaman lang kung ano talaga ang dapat bilang isang kabataan, lalo tigit sa pagpapaunlad ng ating lipunan. But sa panahon ngayon, ang mga kabataan wala na silang pakialam. Nasusunod kung ano ang mga gusto nila at lahat ng mga adhikain nila may mga sarili-sarili na silang mga paniniwala.